So we're going to be opening SewWhatPro. Here's our digitized image from SewArt. We're just going to choose the SewWhatPro button and we're going to File, Open, and I saved it on the desktop as Horsehead Feltie. I'm going to choose Open. Okay. First thing I want to do is resize it. I'm going to resize it to about 2 inches. Okay. And I need to fix, because I opened it with the width that I saved it in SewArt, it's making it kind of hard to view it because it changed my hoop. Okay, so you just go into the options, hoops, find your hoop again. Okay, now we can move on. All right, so we have our colors and I want to go ahead and just darken them up. Okay, so this is going to make it easier for me to see, as well as kind of easier for me to visualize, because I'm going to be using white felt and brown thread. Okay, so that's all there is to doing, to getting it prepared. And you just make it the size that you want. And I'm just going to show you how to do the single. And then I'm going to show you how, I'm going to do the single and I'm going to sew out the single. But I'm going to also show you how to do the duplicate and how to rearrange the steps so that you're not doing one at a time on your multiples, okay? So we're going to go up here to border, the add border tool. We're going to choose the running outline. We're going to choose the setting of 2 and 20. Your default isn't going to be that. It's going to be whatever you last used, or it's going to be like 30 up here and 2 down there. You have to make sure your top number is smaller. Okay? So we're going to make sure we choose auto border, and then we're 2 away from the pattern. Okay? If you choose 1, it gets really, it's hard for the program to read it, all the details and stuff like that. So it tries to outline everything. So just put number 2 and it'll put a nice little distance away. See how cute that is? Okay, I'm going to center all of this. Okay, so we need 2 running stitches though. So we're going to choose that. We're going to choose option, copy, or edit, copy, and then edit. Oh, we got to click out, edit, paste, and it's going to give us another running stitch. Okay. Now we also want a bean stitch. We're going to reorder all of this in a second, but we're going to do bean outline. And the same with the bean, 2 on the top, 20 on the bottom. If you're doing a satin, you're going to want the top to be heavy and the bottom to be lighter. Okay? The satin, the zigzag, or whatever you're going to do, you want the numbers to be separate. The numbers to be higher on the top and smaller on the bottom. Sorry. Okay, so this is going to give us 2 away from the running stitch. So we're going to have to do a little bit of manipulation, but that's okay. I'm going to choose auto border, click OK, and that's going to be our cute bean stitch. We just don't know it yet. We're going to go back to number 4, and we're going to take note of this size up here, 215. Okay, so number 5, we want it to also be 215. We want it to be as close to the running stitch as it can. It's not going to be exact of the running stitch because it does something different and it's an outline of the running stitch. So but it's okay because the running stitch is going to be completely hidden. Okay, so what we're going to do from here is we're going to choose our resize button, and we want to change this to 2.15. Okay, so it's right on top, and it'll look really cute. Okay, and you can, you know, keep manipulating it, and you can probably get it pretty close to perfect. But you don't have to. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to edit, order threads, and we are going to take number 3 and turn it to number 1. We're going to take number 4 and turn it to number 2. Then we want number 3, which is the outline of the face, to stitch out, and then we want the mane to stitch out. Okay, and then number 5, we're going to keep that as number 5 because that's going to be our final stitch. We're going to choose OK. Okay, so right here we have our die line. This is what you put onto your stabilizer, okay? And shows you where to put your fabric. Then we have our tack down. Oops. Okay, and that's gonna to do an outline around the horse so that whenever you're doing the mane and the outline part, it's already secure onto the felt, okay? It doesn't really make a difference, it doesn't really matter, but it will help you kind of have an idea of where it's going to be working as well. Okay, and it also just gives it another level of strength. Okay, so it's going to print out this one, and then it's going to give us our bean. Okay, and you can make little notes over here for yourself. Outline, face, mane. Okay, so that's all there is to digitizing a Feltie using SewArt and SewWhatPro. Okay guys, so I'm over at my machine and this is going to be the stitch out for everything that's done in SewArt and SewWhatPro, but I wanted to give you guys an idea of how it's going to look excuse me, in SewArt. So you don't really have to do this border, but it does kind of finish things off and make it look really cute. So excuse me, one of the things that I wouldn't do is a second die line. The first die line is fine. The tack down I would do without completely, okay? So this is where we're going to be adding our fabric over the tack down, the first tack down, and this is the second tack down. This ended up being unnecessary, okay? So, and then it's gonna do the face outline and the ear, and then you're gonna trim everything, and then it's going to do the mane. I also wanted to insert that you wanna use your same color bobbin thread as the top thread, at least for the bean stitch part, so that it's the same color on the top and bottom, okay? So here's the stitch out with the mane done and the outline done, and also the tack down stitch. And there's the backing. Now we're just going to take a piece of felt and we're going to put it over the part that's stitched. And we're going to tape it the top and the bottom. And we're going to place it back on our machine, okay? And then we're going to run that final bean stitch, and that's going to sandwich everything together and hide all of the back strings and everything. You don't have to do this point either whenever you do uh, a feltie. You don't always have to have a backing on it, but that final stitch and the backing just makes it look so much nicer. And like I said, I would get rid of that second tack down. It just looks terrible. Okay, so there's the backing part of it, showing you that it's covering everything, and look how nice it looks. And it, like I said, it would be so much cuter without this second line. But there's our feltie. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.